Hey everyone, in this video we're going to look at 6 times in which Alex Turner used augmented chords when writing songs. Augmented chords are pretty rare in indie rock music. My favorite way to describe them is that it's basically 2 major thirds stacked together. So for example, if we want to play C augmented, we need to play C, E, and G sharp. This is only slightly different than a major chord, which is a major third plus a minor third. To find a major third, you can simply count 4 half steps starting from the initial notes. With that out of the way, let's check out the first song, Stuck on the Puzzle. Here we can see the main melody of the piano during the verses. Let's listen to it.
I'm not the kind of fool who's gonna sit and sing to you about stars, girl.
If we group the notes in threes, we can see that the second chord is an augmented one, as it's a succession of 2 major thirds. Let's listen to the chord as an arpeggio in descending order, which is the way that it's played in the song. When played this way on its own, it kind of has a mysterious vibe. If we now play it again but with the other chords around it, it gives off more of a dreamy sound and creates that really cool hook. Note that the highest note of each chord is going up in semitones, which is something that Alex Turner uses often, and we're actually going to see it again in the next song. These are the notes played by the guitar during the chorus of number 1, Party Anthem. Let's listen to it.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Number 1, Party Anthem.
If we group the notes from each bar, we can identify the various chords and see that the second one is G augmented. Let's listen to it again with the other notes of the phrase. Since the bass note stays on G during the first 4 chords, and the highest note of the guitar is moving up a semitone each time, it should build tension, but the way that it's played slowly and with reverb gives it more of a dreamy feel. Similarly, the highest notes then decrease by half a step, with a new bass note creating C major and then C minor. In this song on Alexandra Saviour's first record, which was co-written by Alex Turner, we find a C sharp augmented chord. Let's take a listen.
She calls me Girlie. She gets in corners.
In this example, the chord is kind of used within an instrumental break, as it appears during a transition between the verse and the chorus, as well as in the outro. Like the examples we saw before, it occurs right after the major chord of the same root note, although this time it comes back to that major chord rather than switching to another one. It again gives off that dreamy vibe, which is why it can be reminiscent of the 2 previous songs, as well as the following example that we're going to check out now, the Dream Synopsis. The usage of the augmented chord in this song is really similar to the one we just saw with Girlie. I assume Alex really liked that chord progression and decided to reuse it when writing his next album, Everything You've Come to Expect with the Last Shadow Puppets. Let's take a look. So in the same way as Girlie, we have the same chord progression just transposed to E major, which is the key of this song. Another difference is that this time, there are some vocals over the progression, as it also plays during the verse, as opposed to Girlie where it was only during the instrumental break.
Well, we were kissing, it was secret. We'd had to sneak beyond the kitchen, both well aware that there'd be trouble.
this example, the usage of the augmented chord is much more subtle, as it only appears a couple of seconds and takes place only once, during the very last chorus. So in this case, as we just heard, the augmented chord is used as a way to bridge the normal chorus chords with a variation of the chorus at the end of the song. In this B-side of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, the occurrence is again subtle, and it serves just as a transition between the end of the chorus and the following sections. Let's take a listen.
In exactly the wrong place, save it for a rainy day. Baby, you go hard in the paint. It's just another race to anyways. Philanthropic toga party.
So those were 6 examples of augmented chords in Alex Turner's songs. An interesting thing to note is that in each of these 6 examples, if we look at the chords around the augmented one, the preceding one is always the major chord of the same root notes, and the following one is either a variation of that same major chord or the major fourth. So it really seems this is Alex Turner's favorite way to use augmented chords. That's it for this video. As usual, if you've spotted any other examples, please share them in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.